Would you like to get totally out of the overwhelm? That's what we're going to cover today. I'm April Perry, and over the past 15 years, I've worked with literally hundreds of thousands of people, helping them to get organized. And if I could create the Cliff Notes and show you the simplest way, it would be the 3-part process we're going to cover today, which is build, process, maintain. It's going to be so simple, and you're going to feel lighter and more excited by the time we're done, so welcome. And if you're brand new to our channel, we help people who are drowning in the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. So let's go ahead and start with step 1, which is build. What you see here is a diagram of what I call the STEP Command Central. STEP stands for Steps to Everyday Productivity. The Command Central is the system that holds all of the papers and tasks, projects, ideas, goals, details, all the stuff that's typically swirling in your brain. So I'm going to give a brief overview on how you build it, and then we'll move into steps 2 and 3. The Command Central is essentially built in 3 parts. It's things that we engage with daily, weekly, and as needed. I'm going to go ahead and start with the as needed section. This is typically what's sitting in piles on your desk or kitchen counter or around the perimeter of your office in little sub-piles. It's things that are needing to be filed, so we have a simple filing cabinet, or it's support materials, so it's little booklets or papers or things that are related to a specific project you're working on, and we keep those together in the support materials. The tickler file is what holds papers and little items that are specifically related to a calendared appointment. And we have more videos to will explain more how that works. And then someday and incubation, those are places where we put things that either we've decided on and we want to work on them someday, or we're incubating. We're thinking about it. I think of it like one level above the trash. When you have an as needed section, you can put things away, but your brain doesn't have to go to that place to think about it or worry about it. It just comes to you when you need it. But it alleviates a lot of the pressure that might currently be on your desk or literally in little piles all over the side of the bedroom or office. I know you're nodding your head because you know what I'm talking about. So that's probably my favorite section. The second section is what you review weekly. Now, when we get to part 3 and we're talking about the weekly review and how to maintain it, we're going to come back here. But essentially, you have a place to put things where you don't have to think about them every single day, but you do want to do a little check-in every week because you want to make sure you're moving forward and you're appropriately engaging with the things that are important to you. So we have an inbox where we can put things that can wait for you to process them weekly, a current projects list where we do monthly, but you update it weekly and make sure it's still appropriate for your goals, for what's been going on with your life, for your energy and your situation. And then we have your routines. These are things that, yes, we're working on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. But as you do a quick search for them and look at your routines and review them once a week, then you know if you're moving forward and you're maintaining the things that are most important. We don't have to do every routine all the time, but it's nice to get those off your calendar and into a really simple list. Then we have a waiting list, things that other people need to act on, and you can check in on those. A goals list, that's just where you're putting down maybe these are the New Year's resolutions that you're maintaining, it's characteristics that you want to develop, things like that. And then read and review. These are things like your magazines, your grocery ads, catalogs. We actually have a whole video all about the read review that we will link in the description as well. So that's Engage Weekly. With our Engage Daily section, these are the things that we're going to focus on each day, and the list is really small. That's the whole beauty of this, is that you don't need to feel overwhelmed by looking at everything and thinking about everything on a daily basis. So there's the calendar, which is just super simple. Those are the appointments and tasks that must be done that day, and we want to keep them as short and simple as possible. Then we have a context-based next actions list, and that's where we have flexible 10-minute tasks that can fit into the pockets of time during the day. And this list is based on where you are when you're doing it. And so that's things like home, phone, errands, computer, and to discuss. And then finally, I have emails to 0 on there. This is one of my favorite things, is just checking email every day, getting the inbox to 0, but appropriately moving tasks and emails so that you can feel calm and excited when you look at the emails. For people who are thinking, I'm not worried about emails, I don't want to do it, totally fine, but I love it, and we'll have more videos helping you with that as well. And then finally, I just have the landing spots. This is just where you can check the things that are coming into you each day. Landing spots are things like, as I get flyers from the door or mail that comes in, we have one place where it goes. Or digital landing spots, messaging inboxes online, direct messages on social media, things like that. We just want to keep the landing spots very, very small, so we only have a few places to check each day. Okay, so that was a very, very brief overview of the whole Command Central. Once you build the Command Central, you're done with part 1, and now we're ready to move on to processing. Now we're going to move into step 2, which is to process. If you've ever heard of flat surface disease, that's where people put everything on every flat surface. So essentially, if you have a piece of paper that you need next Friday, and you don't want to forget it, you just set it down on a flat surface so you can find it when it's appropriate. Or if you have a whole bunch of things you need to return to a store, you just set it on the counter or set it somewhere so that you won't forget it. But what ends up happening is you have piles and piles on every flat surface, and then everything feels overwhelming and it's not reminding you of what you need to do. It's just causing you to feel overwhelmed. Does that make sense? So the beautiful part about building a Command Central is that every item, thought, paper, goal, all those things that are floating around your home or office or sitting in your head or digitally cluttering up your computer, all the open tabs, the desktop, things like that, they all have a landing space in the Command Central. So inside of our program, we have really specific questions, but I want to give you the general understanding of how this works. You essentially go through each item and you see, okay, is this something that goes in and as needed? Is this something that just needs to be recycled? Is this something that can be handled with a 2-minute rule, just get it done? Or is it something that needs to go on the calendar? Or it's a support material item? Or it's just going to be incubated? Or is this something I need to review weekly as a routine? So as you go through and you learn to just process all the stuff as it comes in, it starts to feel seamless. So instead of just having things that you set down and think, oh, I'll worry about that later, as it comes in, you just simply process it into your Command Central, knowing that you're going to be looking at things daily, weekly, and as needed, and your mind starts to calm down. So if right now, when you're with a friend or you're in a meeting or you're trying to go to sleep at night and your brain's going like this and you're just moving in circles and you're feeling overwhelmed thinking, oh, I need to send that email, I need to remember to buy that thing, I need to go start that event, I need to go, take someone to the doctor, whatever it is, you're not going to have those thoughts doing that anymore because everything's going to be settled and calm in your Command Central. So that's the beauty of learning how to process. Part 3 is simply to maintain. Now, if you buy a car, you're going to need to maintain it, right? By making sure you get oil changes or, getting gas or fueling or recharging, that type of thing. In everything that we have in our life, there's some kind of a maintenance. What I found, however, is if that maintenance requires a lot of willpower, we won't want to do it. So the secret to keeping a Command Central going for your whole life is to have the maintenance process so easy that it really doesn't take any willpower. The way this happens is through the weekly review. This is something that I like to think of as kind of like cleaning out the fridge once a week, where anything that's old or you don't really want anymore or that just needs to go, you just let it go. You do a little cleanup and then you're fresh and ready for the coming week. So for a weekly review, that's where you're going to process your inbox, any papers or things that have come through. You're going to go through emails and extract any tasks that are sitting there waiting for you. You're going to go look at your desk or your desktop or some things on social media or whatever is kind of cluttering up your life. And you're just going to simply clean it up, put it where it goes, and decide what belongs on my focus list for this week. What are the projects I'm working on? What are those little 10-minute next actions that I could feasibly complete this week? What belongs on my calendar, but not to clutter my calendar, but to take my best energy and focus it during the day appropriately, considering my routines and responsibilities and all the things I have on my plate. As long as you're willing to commit, I'd say 30 minutes to an hour a week to maintain your system, you're never going to have to build it more than once. I built my first Command Central back in 2008, 2009, and since then I've changed, my cubbies, or I've gone more digital, or got a new planner or something like that. But I've never again had to start fresh. I just keep it going. And that's my goal for you, is to be able to build a solid Command Central and have all the parts, to learn how to process so you don't end up with flat surface disease or clutter all over your home or in your mind, and then help you to maintain it in a way that just feels light and easy and fun. Because if the simplest way to move forward is the most organized way, you'll choose that every time. I never throw something in a pile because I know it's just going to be harder to take care of it later. Instead, I just put things in my Command Central, and it feels so freeing and so exciting, and it's changed my life, and I know it will change yours as well. I want to show you a few photos from members of our community who have also built their STEP Command Centrals. These don't need to be complicated. They can fit for your office and your home, your lifestyle, and they can be adapted to the needs of your professional work, your family, your personal decisions and choices, and your unique circumstances. But hopefully, as you see these photos from members of the Learn, Do, Become community, you'll also feel inspired knowing that you can create this whole thing for yourself. As you build, learn to process, and learn to maintain, you're going to notice a huge difference in how you feel on a daily basis. You're going to feel more hope and excitement, and you're going to recognize that you can use your unique skills and abilities to do a lot of good in the world. I hope at this point you are ready and you're thinking, yes, I can do this. So we have a couple things that you can do next. First of all, we have a free training called How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles. I'm going to give you a link. You can go check it out and learn how to go a little bit deeper into creating your current projects list and your next actions list. It's going to be a lot of fun. Second, we have more videos here on the YouTube channel. I want this to feel like a place where you can come and get really solid information on how you can build this in your own home and office and how you can create this piece for yourself. So we have more videos linked here at the end. You can explore, dive deep, and come be part of the Learn, Do, Become community. We have more links here in the description, and we're so excited for you. So thank you, and we'll see you soon.